Hello, my name is Ripley. Welcome to the video.
Hello, Schmucks. I got nothing to plug today, except my previous reviews on these here Monsterverse movies, as well as my revisited reviews of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. I will be reviewing the Snyder Cut and Godzilla vs Kong sometime in April, so if you want to see those, then you can stick around. If you don't care, then don't bother. Anywho, let's get started. We have another short inciting incident this week. Today, we conclude our Monsterverse rewatch with Godzilla, King of the Godzillas, or Godzilla, King of the Monsters, whatever you want to call it. This is either coming out the day before or on the day of Godzilla vs. Kong, but no matter what, let's discuss another Godzilla movie. We open on a scene from the end of Godzilla 2014, where Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, and Morgan Stark look for their missing family member in the midst of the Godzilla vs. Muto battle. When Eleven and Vera Farmiga show up, I had hopes for interesting characters because these two have very good chemistry, but alas, interesting characters were not meant to be. Eleven and Vera Farmiga go to see Mothra, but end up being kidnapped by Charles Dance and his army boys. Meanwhile, Fish Kisser and Ken Watanabe from Godzilla 2014 meet with the government. They're there on behalf of Monarch, the organization dedicated to studying and understanding these creatures now called Titans, and Monarch wants humanity to coexist with the Titans, but the government just kind of wants to kill them. Also, this scene shows footage from the other movies instead of footage that could have been recorded by people within the movies. I hate that shit so much. It takes you right out of it. Like, I know it's a little detail, but it really pisses me off. The world is reacting to the existence of these Titans, like Godzilla, the Mutos, and eventually King Ghidorah, and I wish we would see more of that, but we don't. This movie doesn't end up going in depth in that, and it feels like a wasted plot detail. Monarch reaches out to their former member Kyle Chandler, who is wasted in this movie. He's not bad, but his dialogue really is. It's just snappy remarks and screaming about his family. Kyle Chandler is a really good actor, but he's completely useless in this movie. Thomas Middleditch is always a joy, but not in this movie because he's mostly wasted for jokes that never land. Every once in a while he gets a good beat, but that's so rare that it's hardly memorable. They all head off for the Monarch base, and it's mentioned that the government wants to kill the Titans, but how are they gonna do that? Big talk for a bunch of useless bureaucrats. The team arrives at the Monarch base, and the racist dad from Get Out is here, and he's incredibly annoying. He's just used for quips and jokes that aren't funny, and he plays it fine, but the writing is so fucking atrocious. I really like this scene of Godzilla facing off with Monarch. I think it's really cool. Monarch tracks Godzilla, and they head off for Antarctica to intercept him. Meanwhile, Charles Dance and his crew move to awaken King Ghidorah, a rival alpha to Godzilla. Vera Farmiga ends up working with them, but this twist is kinda lame. It's not interesting or uninteresting, it's just bland, and it does mostly nothing. So King Ghidorah wakes up and he kills a bunch of people, but it attracts the big G. Godzilla showing up in Antarctica would have been so sick if we hadn't seen him earlier in the movie, but we have multiple times. So the impact he could have had here is dampened. Imagine if this was the first we saw of Godzilla in this movie. That would have been awesome, but it's not because the movie opens with a shot of him clear as day, and then we get the scene of him underwater, which again, very easy to see. There's no mystery to it. It's Godzilla. We've seen him. So this big reveal is no longer a big reveal. This Godzilla versus King Ghidorah fight is fantastic. I love the use of the original Godzilla theme, and the new design on the beast himself is great. His spines look more like the traditional design, and his glowing intimidation display is awesome. I also really like how when Ghidorah sees Godzilla, he makes himself look a lot bigger and badder to intimidate the rival alpha. I also really like how snake-like Ghidorah is, with how he shakes his tail and he slithers around. That's really cool. Also, King Ghidorah's gravity beams are fucking sick. Just want to mention that. Ghidorah also kills Sally Hawkins, like, for no reason. Sally Hawkins is an Oscar-nominated actress. She deserved better than this shit. Dead. Super fucking dead. So Ghidorah heads out and Godzilla gives chase as Monarch picks himself up after a major L. Vera Farmiga calls in to tell everybody her evil plan. Essentially, humans are the real virus and the Titans should take back the Earth. And yeah, I'm on board for that. I'll sacrifice myself in the name of Godzilla, sure. So everybody's heading to Mexico to meet Rodan, and I love Rodan. Not as much as like Gigan, but definitely more than Hedorah. But yeah, I like Rodan a lot, and he's wasted in this movie. I know they wanted the lineup from Ghidorah the three-headed monster, but what a waste of Mothra and Rodan. They have nothing to do. That said, I really like Rodan's design in this. He looks great. I like that he's coated in magma, giving credence to his occasional name of Fire Rodan. Look, Ghidorah wiped out Florida. Good riddance, I say. So Rodan wakes up, takes flight, and he decides to take care of the US's immigration problem, as well as engage in a pretty fun aerial fight. I love this dogfight. Good stuff. Brutal deaths, excellent CGI. Again, I love Rodan, and despite him being mostly useless, this scene is his time to shine, and my god does he shine. Ghidorah shows up to handle Rodan, and geez, this movie has some beautiful shots. shots, look at that. Ghidorah takes down Rodan, Godzilla shows up to fight Ghidorah, and the military throws an oxygen destroyer at them. I don't like the sudden introduction of the oxygen destroyer. I get the reference, but why is it here? I know it's mentioned that the government wanted to kill the Titans, so it makes sense they'd have something ready to go, but this still feels like it came out of nowhere. Godzilla takes a massive L, Ghidorah cops that W as the king of the monsters and begins awakening the other Titans. Mothra also starts to wake up, but is unbothered by the cries of the Alpha Titan, which is never explained. But look, it's the nerds from Kong Skull Island. I actually really like this inclusion. It helps string together this universe of characters and movies. Also, it's Miles Dyson, and Miles Dyson is always a win. 11 yells at her mom, and it got me thinking. Millie Bobby Brown isn't a bad actress, but she's yet to find a role that really lets her shine. 11 is dull and uninteresting, and it wastes her talent, and this movie has no use for her. She needs something better, something that'll really let her show that she is as talented as we know she is. These different sets of Asian twins is a fun little Mothra reference. I like that a lot. I also think Monarch has this woman, and Charles Dance's crew has her twin. I have the whole movie here, and for the life of me, I can't find the footage, but I know I've seen it at one point or another. Monarch learns that Ghidorah is an invasive species, and that's a really cool concept. Traditionally, King Ghidorah is an alien, but in this continuity, it's kinda odd and it comes out of nowhere.
It tells of a great dragon who fell from the stars. A hydra whose storm swallowed both men and gods alike.
Well, you mean an alien?
Yes, he's not part of our natural order, and he's not meant to be here.
A false king.
An invasive species.
These movies have a certain realm of believability, and Aliens is too much for it in my opinion. I can buy into the fact that Godzilla, Kong, and whoever else are the native species to the planet. I can buy into a hollow earth, but Aliens genuinely I think pushes it a little too far. Are there more aliens? Is King Ghidorah the only alien? Are there more King Ghidorahs out there? What's going on? But also, if we are doing aliens, give us Orga. Give us Space Godzilla. Come on. Do it, you cowards. Monarch learns that Godzilla retreated to the Hollow Earth to heal himself because he's on 1 HP, so they decide to hit him with a nuke and juice him up. This whole revival of Godzilla is a great sequence, and it leads to a beautiful sacrifice from Ken Watanabe.
Saraba. Tomoyo.
After reviving Godzilla, he shoots for the surface in this amazing scene. It looks beautiful, the iconic music makes me so happy, and the CGI is remarkable. Kyle Chandler and Godzilla have a staring contest, and then they head off for the final fight. King Ghidorah arrives in Boston, Massachusetts, and soon after, Godzilla does too. This moment of Godzilla arriving with the Air Force behind him and his iconic roar and the OG music is such a beautiful moment, and I love it so fucking much. It's awesome. The fight commences, and we get some really weird line delivery. Did you hear that? Oh my god, I can't be the only one who heard that. Listen to that again. Please tell me you heard that. This final battle is actually pretty lackluster in my opinion. Throughout the movie, we've seen several monster fights, so by the time we get to the final one, the luster of such a spectacle is lost on the audience. Also, this battle has too much cutting away from the monster fight to the humans doing boring shit, and that really did upset me. However, when we are focused on the monster fight, it is pretty good. Godzilla lands some solid hits, Mothra versus Rodan is brief but pretty cool. Like the rest of the movie, the CGI is incredible. King Ghidorah drops Godzilla from the stratosphere, that was pretty awesome. We get a classic Mothra sacrifice because all she's good for is dying, and she gives her energy to Godzilla similar to how Rodan did the same in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. I don't know if that's a reference, I imagine it is, but Mothra has died and given energy to a lot of different characters in the Godzilla movies, so this could be a reference to anything really. It is weird that King Ghidorah opted to suck Godzilla dry, because this power that he has comes out of nowhere. It would have been one thing if he had tried this earlier but failed, and this was his moment of doing it again. But if I had made this movie, I would have skipped the oxygen destroyer and instead had Ghidorah drain Godzilla of a whole bunch of his energy. This way, Ghidorah still comes out of that fight as king of the monsters and Godzilla still retreats to recharge his batteries, but we also don't have to force the oxygen destroyer as kind of a shoehorned in reference. That way, there's precedent for this energy draining thing at the end of the movie. So Vera Farmiga sacrifices herself in a useless sacrifice, and we get Burning Godzilla, and he looks great. He quickly takes care of Ghidorah, lands a pretty brutal round ending kill. The rest of the monsters just happen to show up at the same time, despite coming from different ends of the world, but it doesn't matter, who cares. And the movie ends with Godzilla roaring in triumph as he assumes his title of King of the Monsters. Oh yeah, post credits, I forgot about these. Yeah, there's not much going on here, but I imagine this King Ghidorah skull will be used to create Mechagodzilla, like how they used the Godzilla skeleton to create Kiryu, but that remains to be seen. And there you have it, Godzilla, King of the Godzillas, or King of the Monsters, doesn't matter. Ultimately, I like this one. I know a lot of people rank this one at the bottom of the list for the Monsterverse, but I personally kind of really like it. I like the action, I like the effects, I like the music, I like the references, and most importantly, I like Godzilla. Yes, in the grand scheme of the Monsterverse, this movie has the worst characters, the worst jokes, and probably the worst script. But god damn it, I love Godzilla. I'd watch this over Kong Skull Island, but I would watch Godzilla 2014 over all of them. So there you go. And with that, we conclude our look into the Monsterverse as we get ready for Godzilla vs. Kong. This video is either coming out the day before or the day of Godzilla vs. Kong, so maybe you already watched it. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.